It's 6:30 on a Monday night. That can only mean one thing. That's right. Car Stereo Talk with your hosts, Dean and Fernando. Woo, yeah, buddy. How are you, Fernando? Good to hear it. Yeah. That was unusually long. I feel more like this right now. Totally feeling like that. Anyways, welcome to the show, guys. It's going to be a jam-packed show. Before we dig deep into all of the things, plus I want to just point out right now, I feel like dead guy. I got dead guy hands. So before we dig too deep into this, I just want to jump over to this right here. Master Tech Expo is right around the corner. I know what you're thinking. It's March, right? 12th through the 15th. How could that be right around the corner? But it is. Right now, we have the early bird specials at $6.49. If you get in and register now, put your deposit down, get things going. I will recommend, if you are deciding to go to Master Tech Expo, book the hotels early. You know, if you want to stay on site. If you want to do an Airbnb or something crazy like that, knock yourselves out. It is a busy time of the year for Mesa. They have spring training going on at the same time. So the hotels kind of are like, a bit tight that way. But anyways, make sure if you're thinking about going, don't think, just do. Makes the perfect Christmas gift. And anyone can go. Anybody can go. It is open to anybody, anywhere. Now, keep in mind the 650 is the education track. There's also a I just want to come and hang out track where you can just have the food, hang out at the live show, and not get your learn on. So it's less. Let's just say that. Obviously, we promote the bigger one because I feel like everybody wants to get their learn on at this event. We'll have a class. I don't know what it's going to be about yet. We're toying with some ideas. Might have Brad help me. Don't know. But anyways, with that being said, let's say hi to everybody. And speaking of Brad, good evening, everyone. Just so you guys know, Saturday was Brad's chili. I thought he was just going to eat chili.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually going to compete, and he got fourth place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Yeah.
I mean, indigestion and maybe a ribbon. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But congratulations, Brad. Hope you had a good time. Happy Monday. One day closer to the weekend. That's keeping it positive, Ken. It's definitely keeping it positive. I don't have that positive outlook like you, for sure. But anyways, good afternoon. I came in fourth. Yep. Just out of the money. It's okay. It's the experience. Next time. Evening, everyone. Good evening, folks. Checking in from Nova Scotia. Good evening. Okay.
Hello.
Brad deserves a gold medal today. I feel like he deserves a gold medal every day. Hello. Warm and sunny. Warm and rainy. Warm and rainy in Seattle. Hey, guys. 1 hour left of the workday. Evening, Jets. I kind of sped over that one. If you guys have a question, now would be the time to get it in. What's up, Dave? Good evening, DNF. Always a pleasure to watch the show. Always a pleasure to have you. Hybrid cars and aftermarket amplifiers. How do you spell disaster for 20, Alex? No, I'm just kidding. Am I, though? Brian did share some pictures with me the other day of somebody that did have a lithium-ion battery vape their install bay. I wonder if I can find those. I wonder if those are in my messages here. Those were brutal. I don't know the name of the shop. I feel bad that I don't. But this is one of those things where where's Brian's? There it is. It's one of those things where you got to be careful with the if my computer could just do its thing, that would be wonderful. All right, let's just do this. Okay, and where did they go? Downloads. Of course, they're not in downloads. That would be too smart. See if they went to pictures. I have no idea where they went.
No.
Oh, might pop up. Oh yeah, there we go. I'll just do this and just hope for the best. Oh, wrong one. So there's a picture of the inside. Um, Look at that. We all know that's a Mustang. That's a lithium battery that went sideways. I don't know if it was from this or it was from the motorcycle. One of them caused all this damage and destroyed this guy's shop. This has happened while Brian was teaching his last class. My heart goes out to the guy because that just sucks. But that just goes to show you that, lithium is great. Lithium is not great. Either way, speaking of great, we do this little thing called the 12-volt Clean Wire Club. In the 12-volt Clean Wire Club, Fernando scours the page. And hey, every now and then, we get 2 pictures in 1 week that are great. So that means he doesn't have to work real hard on the second week. Right, Fernando?
Correct.
Yeah, see him happy. What are you doing anyways?
No, I was trying to find the booth.
Oh,
The Ibex.
oh, where we're going to be?
It's 3 floors.
Yeah, it's huge.
I don't even know where it is.
I was going to say, I don't know what you're doing. Anyways, right here, who's this again?
His name is Luke.
Okay, well, Luke did a fantastic job.
Yes.
This has got obviously like a subwoofer or something in the middle of it. I don't remember. It plugs in.
It's a subwoofer.
Pretty fantastic. Good job. All Brax.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
It looks so nice.
3D printed some stuff.
Yeah.
So very nice, very clean. And that is brought to you by the fine folks at DNF Tool Drawer. If you're looking for an amazing tool, the IRTA2, pick yours up today. That way you can see what the wires are passing. Yeah. Anyways, get rid of that. Come over here, and we will do this. I always like doing these guys first. Just kind of makes me feel good. I don't know why. Hit that. This first segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Audio Control. If you're looking for straight power amplifiers or possibly something with the DSP, don't worry, they got you covered. You can head over to Audio Control. There, not do they have 1 5-channel, not do they have 2 5-channels, not do they have 3 5-channels. I think they have like 6 5-channels. They have a 5-channel with a DSP, without DSP, with straight power, small size, big size. They have 5 channels to do anything that you want. If you want it to look pretty, check out the new Altitude. If you want it to be price conscious, check out the Epic series. If you want DSP, check out the D. If you just want the best in line out, look at the LC. If you want something small, check out the ACMs. Lots of 5 channels. Anyways, check them out at audiocontrol.com. How you doing, Fernando?
Oh,
you back in the game?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, next week is IBEX here in Tampa, which is basically the boat show.
Yeah.
We're going to be out there with our good friends, Modus, a.k.a. Project M. Don't know what we're going to be doing. Don't know how it's going to go. I do know they're going to have the Cybertruck out there. We'll see how things are.
Yeah.
We're going to be hanging out.
Like 3 floors.
It's huge. It's a huge show. Everyone's going to be there.
I find them is right there,
Yeah, that's them.
113 new exhibitors. 113 new exhibitors.
That's
how crazy is that?
Frostbox. It's like Frostbite, but without the bite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you might have to buy a boat.
I'm not buying a boat.
Really?
No, I refuse to own a boat. I'm going to just pick up Mark C here, and we'll go with that. So that'll get us going. Hello, gents. Mm-hmm. I have a Blackbird to be expanded to a Nighthawk. I have 2 2-ohm A10s. Is there any other wiring options than sealed parallel with the combo? Thought maybe with the DSP I could do stereo. So one of the things about the Blackbird, the Nighthawk, and if you want to do stereo, that's fine. But the reality is that it's kind of pointless because most soundtracks the sub is recorded in mono. There's only 1 drum set, 1 bass player. Very rarely do they mix them somewhere else. But the one nice thing about the Nighthawk is it is a stereo amplifier. So it is a true left and right amplifier. What makes it different than a true left and right amplifier or stereo amplifier is the ohm loads that it can handle. So most of the time when you have a two-channel amplifier, it is 4 ohm stereo, 2 ohm mono. Oh no, it's 4 ohm stereo. Yeah, 4 ohm mono, 2 ohm stereo. So if you're going to do 2 ohm stereo, you can only do 4 ohm mono. But with this, you have this little switch here that says stereo load. What it allows you to do is you can actually change it to 1 ohm stereo or 2 ohm mono. So it actually will go down one more. But you have to make sure you flick the switch on the side right here where it says stereo load. This gives you all kinds of options. It gives you that 2 ohm mono load that everyone gets so excited about. But for a stereo amplifier, it's the same amount of power. It's not changing the power. All it's doing is allowing you to have more options to configure your subwoofer. But if you do want to go and do a left and right, you can go as low as 1 ohm on the input just so that it stays stereo. Okay, so that's how this guy works. So congratulations on them for figuring that out. That's a pretty cool feature. I put that away this morning thinking that, we're done talking about the Nighthawk. And then, of course, I got to pull out the Nighthawk. So if you have two 2 ohm 10s, that's a 1 ohm load. You can run it 1 ohm stereo on the Nighthawk. So that will give you your left and right that you're wanting. So bonus. After you install a system in a customer's car, do you perform RTA measurements to tune it, or do you just tune it by ear if you install the DSP? All right, so for those of you that don't know, I'm 53 years old, and I've been doing this for your battery's not charging. Been doing this, your top battery on the Milwaukee. It's doing the green, red.
No.
It's okay. We can fix those now.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been doing this a really long time, and what that means is my hearing is not as good as it used to be. Yesterday, I spent the whole day not even being able to hear out of this ear, which was fantastic. And the ringing in my ears were driving me up the goddamn wall. It sounded like a banshee was screaming in my ear for my tinnitus. So to answer your question, hell no, man. We use an RTA on everything. I don't trust my ears. They don't work as good as they used to. His are pretty good most of the time. However, he gets sick a lot. He's always sniffling. It's like one of those dogs that sniffles a lot. Anyways, but we both listen to the car when we're done. I'll listen to it first, get it how I think it should be, and then he'll tell me how wrong it is. I'll go back in and change it, and then I'll sit in there and go, oh yeah, I guess that was off a little bit. We spend a lot of time with the RTA and making sure that it sounds good. I don't trust my ears. Now, in the end, of course, yeah, I'd use my ears, but there's no way to tune yes, maybe Brian's done it. That's cool. He's a superstar. But trying to tune a system without some form of RTA, I'm just not at that level. I'm not. Took your advice. Scroll that down. Took your advice. Went to order an Amp Pro for my 2018 Journey. Problem is Crutchfield's Best Buy, Sonic, even Pack don't show one being compatible. CH31 doesn't have the same plug. What am I missing? That's a great question. I don't know. Could you look up like a 2018 Dodge Journey and see if there's anything listed for that, either with iData or Pack? We'll circle back around to that one.
2000 what?
2018 Dodge Journey. See if they have anything listed.
Journey.
Replace amplifier. No, amplifier replacement. Yeah, there you go. Jesus. Okay, yeah, work on that one.
Hang on.
No, it's all good. I'm hanging.
Amplifier replacement.
Yeah.
With amplifier, without the amplifier.
So I'm assuming it has to have the amplifier. So it's with amplifier.
Replace the amplifier.
Yeah.
So AR, DSR1.
So with the amplified system, they offer that. Try Pack and see what they say. That's
or
only in the amplified system. Yeah, so AR2 or
Blackbird.
DSR1, so Blackbird stuff like that. But that's
Yeah.
only if it's amplified. I don't remember if his was amplified or not. Which is kind of weird.
Journey.
I'm a professional.
I'm not.
You totally are. Yeah, they don't list it.
No,
No, go back up.
nothing.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to see the
Just
plug.
a T harness.
Why is it? I wonder if they've never bothered to validate it. That sounds weird. Because
Yeah.
I mean, okay, is your stay zero? Is your system amplified or non amplified? I'd be curious about that. So it might be that one oddball nightmare of a car.
Mm-hmm.
See if you can replace the radio on that. That would be more fun. That would be iData for sure.
Okay. Data, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna. We'll come back to that. I'm gonna do this. It says F150 gonna run the Arc Audio PS 6.8 whenever they come available. Do I need LGDs to run with factory radio? Yes. Pick up a set of LGD greens. So you're gonna want a set that comes with 2 front, 2 rear, and then you'll be all set. But yes, for sure. Want to use a micro bypass on a Pioneer 8201, but do I solder an extra lead on the signal wire so I can use it in the future? I'm assuming you mean the remote turn on wire. I probably would so that you could use it in the future. Okay, so I don't know what the current micro bypass for Pioneer is. Last I checked, they didn't actually have one. So make sure that it's capable of doing the radio. Because some of the Pioneers, I thought it was no bueno. You couldn't do it on. So before you spend the money, make sure it's possible.
Hang on.
Yeah. What about you? You got information?
Yeah.
Click. I'll come back. The journey is amplified. Oh, if the journey is amplified, head over to iData. They got a bunch of options. So the AR2 will be the same as the Amp Pro, meaning it has preamp and stuff like that. The AR allows you to go into a ARC product, so PSM, PSM Pro, PS 6 to 8, 8 to 12, 8 to 16, Blackbird, Falcon, X2, 850.8. So all of those you can do with the AR. And then there's, of course, the DSR one, which is the old faithful. But yeah, so check out iData at maestro.com or idatalink.com. Daniel, what is going on? Okay, back to this one. Just out of curiosity, what is the ratio of male to female customers that want to get some bang in their trunk? 500 to 1? I mean, the reality is there's women out there that want to get it done. We do a good amount of female cars. Most of them are Jeeps. Not gonna lie, we do a lot of Jeeps for girls. I don't know. I just don't like either you got it or you don't when it comes to that. I know there's plenty of women out there that are into this stuff because I see most of them on Instagram. You know, a lot of mechanics, a lot of pilots, a lot of girls that are into automotive. There's a plethora of them out there, but it's nowhere near the number as the guys. The guys are just worth something about it. And there again, I know a lot of the times we do cars for wives, and we never actually see the wives. So, but if I was to guess, maybe 10 to 1. But I'm guessing at that. But yeah, 10 to 1 sounds about right. Any idea when the second wave of Kenwood direct replacement Toyota would be available? I'm going to say 2026 and leave it at that. So here's the thing. When it comes to Toyota, what Toyota do you have? So there's a couple of things that you have to ask. For one, is it a 2024 Toyota or a 2025 Toyota? If it's a 2024 Toyota, which Toyota is it? And does the Toyota have knobs on the radio, or is there no knobs at all? The reason why I ask is because there are some Toyotas that you can actually make a dash kit and put a direct replacement into because there's already the parts exist. The dash kit doesn't exist. So like we've done some Toyotas with direct replacement 8-inch screens, and it's no big deal. It's just a matter of making a new dash bezel out of high gloss acrylic, and things are great. And it works wonderfully, and everybody's happy. So it really just comes down to the year of the car and what you're trying to do and what it has. Hey guys, what time is it? Let me do this before we get into this.
Okay.
This next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at focal-america.com. We had a great question the other day. Someone said, I want my highs bright and want my mid-bass basin. And I said, no problem. I'm exaggerating. But either way, if you're looking for that, man, there is no other. Focal. I can't tell you enough how amazing these speakers sound. And yes, they are our number one selling speakers, the Flax Evos. Boom. The only thing that makes a Flax Evo sound like, oh man, is when you compare them to a K2. So for those of you out there that, bar none, just say, yeah, I'm better than you, well, you want a K2. For everyone else, settle on the Evo Flax Evos. And you'll be okay. Just know in the back of your head, the guy with the K2, he's better than you. That's okay, though. Check him out at focal-america.com. Hey, guys, cool Monday. Not really. Can you explain why is it better to tune a vehicle with negative 3 dB instead of 0 dB when tuning a system?
Negative
Thanks.
5 dB.
What did I say?
Negative 3.
I don't know why I said negative 3.
Close.
Probably because the paint that I was huffing earlier today is, I'm starting to see like. Anyways, actually, that's a really simple thing. Now, we do have this other channel that we have called Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips. And on that page, we have a whole school that we used to do here on Facebook where we took you guys down a journey and showed you a bunch of stuff. If life was great, we'd start that back up again. There's about 30 of them up there we did. It was a lot of fun. And one of them was explaining the offset of this, meaning why do we negative 5, negative 10, negative 15 as opposed to 0? And the reality is because like, all of this comes down to one thing. Music is not all recorded at the same volume. Okay? So, and you know this, unless you're, of course, an iPhone user and use Apple Music and you haven't turned off the cool little feature on there called, music level or music leveling or music. It's in your music settings. It is the worst feature in the world. It makes your music very low. It will rob serious amounts. And what it does is it levels all the music so it all plays at the same level, which sucks. So the reason why we do this is because we have no idea what you're going to be listening to, when you're going to be listening to it. And so we want to make sure that there's some room, okay? If everything worked at absolute 0, that would be great because we wouldn't even need a gain section on an amplifier. We would know that at full volume, it's putting out 5 volts of undistorted amounts of music, and then that amplifier wouldn't need a gain because it would know there's at maximum volume going to be 5 volts coming into it. That isn't the case. So, because we don't know, is it high level, is it low level, is it a Toslink, is it a Sony, is it an Alpine, is it a Kenwood, which one is it? So we need a gain. Now, we also need to realize that there's going to be like classic rock, new rock, old rock, this hip-hop, techno, and stuff like that. And some of it has a lot of loudness, some of it doesn't have a lot of loudness, some of it's recorded good. So all we're doing when we say negative 5 dB or negative 10 dB is we're changing our 0 point. So we're actually not doing a negative. It's actually a positive, okay? So we're moving our 0 point down negative 5 dB, which in turn means we're moving our 0 point up 5 dB or 10 dB so that we have room on the volume knob, okay? That's why we do it. Now, if you just said, what? Take a piece of paper, draw a 0, and then come over and draw a negative 5, and then draw a negative 10, and then put a 0 below it. And then draw the line up to the current 0, meaning that never changes. That's your max volume, okay? Put a plus 10, put a plus 5. So at true 0, you're at 5 dB, and if you went 10, you're at 10 dB. You're just moving the 0 point down so that now on your volume knob, instead of being all the way up, you're down some. But you have room to go, let's say negative 5 dB on your volume just happens to be, let's say, 28 out of 35. Okay? So now at 28, but some music you're going to turn it up some. So you're going to turn it up, let's say, to 32. We have a great video explaining this with charts and stuff on that page. Which feature doesn't affect
That feature.
That feature doesn't affect Tidal. Another reason to use Tidal over Apple Music. I disagree, Ryan. Tidal sucks, and I'll stand. I had Tidal. I paid for it. It was useless, man. I've never felt so unconnected to a music device in my life. And then there again, keep in mind that's my opinion, just like that's your opinion. And the great thing is, we can both have an opinion and we can disagree, and it's okay. It's okay. But I love my Apple Music, and you love your Tidal, and we can still be friends. It's crazy, I know. Hey, fellas, does an aftermarket radio really draw 10 amps? No. I have one, and I want to add the Alpine KTP blah blah 5, little crappy amp to it. It has a 15 amp fuse, or do I need to run a wire for that amp from the battery? So if you're going to do the universal, I would probably recommend running a power wire to the battery. That is going to depend on the car, though. Some of the cars, some of the newer cars, do not have a substantial power wire behind the radio. I mean, it's tiny, it's thin. The radio really doesn't draw 10 amps of power. It's the math that comes out to a 10 amp. Most of the time when we would do the 455U, we would add in an extra 10 gauge power wire and run it out to the battery, or a 12 gauge power wire. I think it's a 12 gauge power wire. We'd run a 12 gauge power wire out to the battery just to be on the safe side. Now, if you have an Alpine head unit, they have the A, which is the Alpine one, which just plugs in and it just like daisy chains in. So it's the same amp. So technically, I guess you could get away with it if you wanted. The one thing I would suggest is instead of buying the 455U, maybe check out the Kicker Key 200.4. They're about the same size, but the Key 200.4 has a DSP built into it that auto sets itself. And it's a direct competitor of the 455U. They're very similar in price point. Similar, not the same. So, anyways. And that one you do need around 12 gauge. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When adding a Kicker 3001 to 2017 Tahoe, would y'all recommend adding an AGM or lithium? Also, is an isolator needed? So, obviously adding some form of upgraded electrical system, if you're planning on getting the 3,000 watts out of it, would be a good idea. The Kicker 3001 is designed for stupid installations. You're asking the right questions, therefore you're not stupid. I'm merely saying it's designed for stupid installations and that it'll play down to 9 volts without it shutting off. So what that means is, let's say you hook it up in a situation where it just doesn't have the power that it needs, it's going to turn itself down and limit the amount of performance it has. So if your voltage sucks, you're not really going to get 3,000 watts out of it, but it won't shut off, and that's a positive. Adding a second battery, possibly an alternator. It's 2017 Tahoe. There's going to be an alternator upgrade for that out there somewhere. There's definitely going to be one because it's one of the most popular vehicles to do this kind of thing in. So I might look into something like that. If you're trying to be a base head things, then I would start looking into more power, more capabilities. If it's a Tahoe, you can put a battery underneath the hood. There's usually a spare battery plate that you can get because there's usually one that goes up by the firewall, one that goes in the corner, or two go in the corner. So I'd look into that because that'll allow you to put, battery up underneath the hood. When it comes to lithium, you're on your own for that. Lithium is fantastic. I don't know enough about it other than the scary things that I see at the start of the show, like when we showed the guy's shop that burned to the ground because lithium battery they were installing decided to go ballistic. I know that's not as common, but it's something to be aware of if you don't understand it or you're not confident in there. What's the battery company's name?
Excess Power.
Excess Power is a great place and people to talk to. If you want to know more about batteries, I would recommend giving them a call. But with a 3,000 watt amp, maybe think about upgrading the alternator in there. That would probably be a great place to start. Look at this. Look at this fanboy. Hold on. Save that one.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Kicker for the win. Hell yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I had to just do that. Thinking of the Rockford Fosgate P308 for my wife's car. Well, you don't love her? You can't go all the way up to the 10? She listens to top 40 for the most part. She tells me all the time to tone down the bass in the F-150 with the Audison Prima. Thoughts? So, good idea. Couple questions I would ask is the 8 is great. What kind of car does she have? Is it an SUV? Because you're going to want an SUV if that's the goal. Now, depending on how much room she has underneath where the spare tire goes, you may want to look at one of those spare tire subs. Haley has the Diamond Audio spare tire sub in hers. So we did the non-amplified version, but we have done the JBL version with the amplifier. Very impressive as well. That way she has bass. It's not a lot. It's adequate. It's actually pretty damn good. And it's not going to take up any of her trunk space. You don't have to get that. Well, I was going to do it, but that box is in the way. Now, the other thing you can do too with the 8-inch is you can downfire it. It doesn't come with legs, Acura TL. Ooh, see, now that's a bass vacuum because it's a TL, which means it's a car. I would look at the P310. It's small, the wedge that goes up into the seat. That would be a better move for her as opposed to the 8. The 8 is great if you're sitting with the 8 in the cabinet, but if you're not, the 10 is the way to go. Yes, I would go for the 10, and then just wedge it up against the seat, and yeah, everyone will be happy. And it's got a knob, so if she's complaining, you can turn it down. I have 2 audio control low amperage amplifiers. Do you connect the power wire to the battery under the hood or the battery under the rear seat? 2024 Toyota RAV4 hybrid. You're going to go to the 12-volt battery that's up underneath the hood and not the hybrid battery or the connection point for the hybrid battery anywhere near the hybrid battery. So you're going to up where the 12-volt battery is underneath the hood of the car, because that's where that needs to go. It doesn't need to go anywhere else. So keep it out there and not anywhere near that. Hi, guys. What are the best Class D amps for mids and highs as per your experience? Thanks. So that's kind of a loaded question because pretty much 90% of the amplifiers out there are all Class D. And like, if you're looking at like a Class D amplifier with a DSP, then it's even better. Now, Arc Audio does pride themselves on the fact that they make some awesome Class D amplifiers. Like, they're like, our Class Ds are better than everyone else's Class Ds. But they're, again, not Mosconi, because Mosconi is AB. Audison does Class D with their DSP amplifiers, and they feel the same way. It depends. You want DSP or no DSP? Let's go with that. If you're just, because if you buy a night, I mean, dude, Kicker has phenomenal. All their amplifiers are Class D, and the new LX series are freaking awesome. You know, they have the 7-channel, the 5-channel, the 4-channel, the mono blocks. Fantastic, reasonably priced. So there's a ton of them out there.
A lot.
You know, the more you spend, the better they are. It's just what it is. I will take a high-end Class D over an inexpensive AB any day because they'll just kick their ass.
Probably.
I know. Hi, guys. I have a 5-channel only running front components and sub, front stage upgrade. What's your opinion on bridging it versus running them active? Thanks. That's a great question. Dave, that's 2 points to you, my friend. So the question is, do I want to go 3-channel or 5-channel? And what would be the advantage of both? Well, so if I have an amplifier or the ability to do tweeter and mid-bass and subwoofer and go full active, there are some benefits to that. For one, it's the same amount of power, meaning your passive crossovers are only going to handle 75, 80 watts. You know, that's it. And then it's just going to be heat. So it's not like it's going to get that much louder. It'll get a little louder, but not that much louder. And then you have the passive crossovers to deal with. Now, you have speakers that are up here, tweeters, and you have speakers that are down here, mid-bass. The ability to level match the two through the gain, meaning let's turn the gains up to where it just clips and whatever. Now we can dial them back down. Being able to adjust the gain so that I can get a nice blend between the tweeter and the mid bass, to me, far outshines power any day. Because once those two are done right, I will get a much better sound. Now, if all I want to do is highs in your eyes, bass in your face, just like volume, then okay, bridging it is fine, but I still feel you lose some of the advantages of having 4 channels of active audio. You just have so yeah. If we have the opportunity, we're gonna go full active. There are some cases where we don't, though. It just depends on the criteria of the customer. Now, in the case that we aren't going to go full active, like we are going to go 3-channel mode, we try to go with a crossover that has some form of attenuation for the tweeter on it, meaning like -3, -6, something like that, so we can bring the tweeter down a little bit because it's going to be hot, and that's a little crazy. Hold on, can I put this one up, please? Let me do this one first. Any better DSP than a Helix? There's a lot of better DSPs than a Helix. Okay, so when it comes to the better DSP, first off, what do you mean by better DSP? Because, if you're talking about the actual chips inside of the amplifier, when you're looking at high-end amplifiers, there's plenty of them out there that are better than the Helix, okay? Now, when it's talking about the software, that opens up a whole big can of worms. Like, who makes a better software? Now, that's where it becomes funny, and that's where a lot of people will back themselves into a corner and be like, let's fight, okay? Now, when it comes to Helix, Arc, Moscone, Audison, Goldhorn, pick one, all right? There's a ton of them out there. The reality is the DSP is only as good as the user, all right? So you can have the best DSP in the world, okay, the most expensive DSP. You go out and buy a Brax 8-channel, it's $6,500, and it uses the same software that comes with every other Helix DSP out there. You're just paying for a lot of cool features inside of it that make it all it's all hand built and whatnot. But if you suck at tuning, it really doesn't matter, right? So what I would say is, don't worry about who makes the best. Worry about somebody who makes one that you could figure out how to use. So if you're proficient with the Helix, by all means, run the Helix. It's a great DSP. It's got a ton of settings. It's going to sound fantastic. If you're not understanding the Helix, then move on to something else. Everybody offers a free download, with the exception of Down for Sound. Go figure. It's crap. You download the software and see which one works best for you. Sorry, it was a glitch in the matrix. Sorry, Bobby. As soon as Kicker comes out with Thor's, you're dumping that one though, so it's okay. It's all good. But anyways, yeah, don't get caught up in the hype. Find one that you work best with. There's a lot of them out there. They're all fantastic. But don't have one that you can't figure out how to use. Okay, go ahead. Yes, Bobby does use the Down for Sound. Melissa in here is into auto. Angie, okay. So that's just the name of a few. Oh, yeah, girls. Mike. Yeah. Oh, for sure. There are some women.
Angie has a lot of money into that car.
Oh, yeah. And Jeff does the install or does the tune, and Chris and those guys will do the install. Anyways, Haley's been to Mobile Solutions. She loved it. She thought it was fantastic. Actually, we've been there a couple times, and there's been girls there getting their install stuff on. We have Mary Lou. Forget that. Lori, our national sales manager from Kicker. There's a bunch of girls or women. There's a lot of women in the industry, but it's just not a lot.
They doing their own thing. So, but yeah.
She might be working on her house. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Where am I at? Hold on. I got to do this.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you're good. You can put it up.
Oh, I saved it for that.
We talked a lot about DSP. We talked about the Blackbird at the beginning of the Nighthawk at the beginning of the show. Let's talk about the Blackbird. This Lincoln over here. This is a Lincoln Town Car. That's right. It's a couch on wheels, and it's getting a Blackbird. I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Hell yeah! Because he realizes that you can't put a price on performance. Well, actually, you can put a price on performance, and he did, and it was a Blackbird. So this thing is going to rock out with some Morel speakers, a Blackbird power and everything. It's going to have a Morel 10 in the back, but it's going to be powered by a Blackbird because he wants a DSP, he wants an amplifier, he wants it small, he wants it compact, he wants it efficient. He wants his dead body trunk space. What better amplifier could you possibly go with? Oh, I know, a Falcon, because Falcon has even more channels of goodness. Yeah, that's right. But if you're looking for an all-in-one amplifier DSP or just a standalone DSP, PS 6 to 8, can't tell you how awesome and what value that adds to your installation. Check them out at arcaudio.com. Down for Sound actually offers free downloads. Oh, did they finally do that? God, I haven't looked in a while. I haven't looked in a while. Yeah, they do. Okay. Well, but, I mean, it's all good. It's all good. And like I said, Bob, as soon as Kicker drops theirs, man, you're dropping that hero, getting with that zero, or zero, getting with the hero. Either way, you're going to get the Kicker as soon as it comes out. Just saying, you are. Do you guys do audio diagnostic on a system to tell what is going and easier to get appointment or still same time frame like an install appointment? The reality is there's only so many hours in the day. As far as diagnostics of a system, it really just depends like what the goal is. So like if we're just going to look at it and go, here's what's wrong with it, that could take an hour or two. But then if you expect us to fix it, that could take a couple days. So it's more of we need to kind of figure out what is going on. Like over the phone, have a couple conversations or some emails back and forth. Because it's still time. And if all we're doing is going, here's what's wrong with it, and we're walking away, what's the point? So if we're going to get our hands dirty, we're going to get our hands dirty. Now we have a strict policy here, or Paul has a strict policy here. We don't fix anybody's stuff. We tear it all out and we start over. So fixing something that's wrong isn't really what we do. We do it by tearing it all out and just starting over
Our
again.
way.
So, So which could take 3 or 4 days. It just depends on what's going on. So, okay. Do you think Arc Audio will make a companion sub-amp for the Falcon like the Nighthawk is to the Blackbird? I mean, technically you could use the Nighthawk on the Falcon. I get what you're saying, dude. They make a sub amplifier that's 3 inches bigger since they have the bigger heatsink now. Do they go ahead and make like a 1500 watt? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know if Brad has gone down that rat hole yet of going, wow, we should make a 1500 watt amplifier since we have 3 extra inches on the Falcon. I don't know. It's a good, I get it. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I still want my aircraft carrier, which is, sounds pretty awesome. But I don't know. We haven't had that one in passing. So, and he's listening. So now you've just made him scratch his head and go,
he's typing right now.
I haven't thought of that. We could probably do something like that. Keep in mind, it might be 2027 before it comes out because these things just don't happen overnight. But yeah, you never know. I wouldn't put it past him.
Did you answer that one?
No. I've always been a little confused about speaker impedance and ohm load of amplifiers and the benefits, i.e., dual 4 ohm sub wire to 2 4 ohm front channel, 4 8 ohm on the sub wire versus down to 2 for all of that. Fernando.
Yes.
This is kind of like you.
Well, I don't know what does that mean.
Yeah, I know. So he says he's a little confused when it comes to speaker impedance, ohm loads, and doing all that, and benefits of it.
Same thing right here.
I've explained it to him a million times, draw diagrams, put stickers on the wall. It still blows his mind.
Nope. I just grabbed my digital multimeter. But you know what? I go to Google and actually find out the diagram.
Because he doesn't want to ask.
I mean, Google is a fantastic research that you can go there and it's like, oh, this is how you do it, and then I just check it after I do everything, and then I'm like, hey, this is okay.
So this is one of the first things that I learned. Yes, go ahead.
Kicker has on the
Yes, they do. A
they
lot
have
of
a
them.
lot of stuff
A lot of Kicker U.
wiring stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Kicker has U. Rockford has it.
Rockford
has
it
that on their thing.
on their own.
So the reality is this. Okay, so to sum all of this up, if you have a 500 watt amp, all you need to know is how to get the 500 watts out of it, right? Is it
Just
1
turn
ohm?
the gain all the way up.
Of course, that's second though. You have to find, is it 500 watts at 1 ohm, 2 ohm, or 4 ohm? Most of the time it's going to be 2 ohm or 1 ohm. So
2 ohms.
Every now and then it's 4 ohm, like if it's a 250 by 2, it's a 500 watt amp. So, and then you have to put together either dual 2s, dual 4s, single 2s, single 4s to get to the end. And yes, it does get confusing, and a lot of people do screw it up. We talked about Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips the page. We also have a whole class on this. So there is a lot to be said about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Trademark sucks. Probably not the Osprey. Yeah, no. That's another thing. You got to find something that like doesn't really. Maybe we have other stuff on the schedule first, but the time we get to bigger amps in that cosmetic, we will probably have changed it.
There you go.
Yeah, so that is one of the debates back and forth is what are we? Because the Blackbird, that heatsink has been around for a while. It's the PS 880, 850, whatever, or the whatever the little guy is over there, the 8, I don't know, the old one.
Which one?
The Arc Audio. This guy. Yeah. PS 8-50.
The PSA 50?
Yeah, the PS 850.
Yeah.
So the PS 850, which is the antique in the bunch, has had.
Oof.
Hey,
looks like a blackbird.
Oh my gosh, it looks like a blackbird.
Bring the blackbird.
I don't have it.
I thought you have it over there.
No, that's a
What is it?
Nighthawk.
It's the same size.
Yes. It's a Nighthawk.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, wow. It's very similar.
Just a little shorter.
Yeah.
Right? But
Point
cool.
is,
yeah.
the PS 850 has been around for a minute.
Yeah.
Now, this is the thing that we discuss all the time. This form factor is like this for a very specific reason. It's small, it's compact, and it hides really, really well. This is iData compatible, which means it can go where a factory amplifier possibly is. So the form factor is made specifically to do that. Now, the reason why they came out with the X2 850.1 or 850.8 or 800.8, the 8 channel in the X2 line that we just talked about, is in that line, that's a pretty line. So they have a big 3000 or 2500.1. They have some other amplifiers in that are pretty. So it's tough to argue like how much do you want to do with this amplifier and the cosmetics of it. Brad wants to go crazy and make it super sexy and
go crazy, Brad.
Hopefully don't make it look like the engine covers on a Ferrari.
No, now you got to make it like a Lamborghini.
No, let's not make it any. Let's just make it cool. Let's make it red. I like red.
Oh, no red.
Dude, red
cars are not reds.
Red
like
is
interior?
No. Focal used to make red amplifiers.
Yeah, but
so
where are you going to put it?
In the back.
No.
So it's red. Okay, so anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Moving on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm hanging. I don't want to hang. I'm hanging on by every minute.
Change it?
No. I got like 30 seconds. Keep going.
So here we go.
Oh my gosh. Android Auto question. Get an iPhone. I was noticing that on my 2025 Subaru Forester sounds blue. Okay.
2025.
Yeah, I got all that.
Okay.
Audio sounds good, but when I connect my cell phone to Android Auto and the sound improves is amazing, but my cell phone gets bog down and move slow. Is this normal for my phone to be slowed down a lot? And is this normal for the higher quality sound improvement? The higher quality sound improvement, 100%. So whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone, both Android Auto and Apple CarPlay do not use Bluetooth for anything other than to make the handshake between the phone and the car. Once they've made that handshake, it automatically switches from Bluetooth handshake to Wi-Fi audio. The reason why they do that is because we've all figured out that Bluetooth audio sounds like dookie, trash, garbage, poo. So we use Wi-Fi to do that. Now, if your phone, wow, that was loud.
Oh, my.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if your phone is not up to snuff, or you got a bad network, or things are just whatever, or you got a lot of things going on in the background, you're running Wi-Fi. So, yeah, it could bog down your phone, as you say, because it's running the Wi-Fi flat out into your Forester. So, now, is that normal? Not really. I don't think I've had anyone really complain about it bogging down the phone. Now, if you're still in the phone, like, and you're still playing with the phone and doing stuff, it was never meant to do that. It's like when you hook up to these wireless things, the whole idea is your phone doesn't, you don't look at your phone. So that could be one of the reasons. Now, if it's, the other thing too is if you're streaming in music and the music is having a hard time streaming in, that could just mean that you have bad cell connection.
One of the things that we have a customer kind of like the same that was acting slow is because he has so many apps open, and it was trying to do Pandora and all that kind of music, YouTube and everything. Everything was open, so we had to close everything. And for him, that fixes it. So I don't know. You can try that.
I was merely pointing out that the PS8-50 has been that heatsink form has been around for a minute, so it is due for an update. Regarding component speakers, at what price point do you go from good sounding speakers to amazing sounding speakers? And someone in the comments had said $500. This is a tough one because the one thing I've found is that everyone has a different point where they consider something amazing. So, for example, I have a really expensive set of headphones. I have a really expensive audio system at my house. I don't listen to Beats by Dre, and I don't have Bose. Some people have a sound bar, and that's the like, here's where it's at. So when you ask somebody to give them a reference point, there's a reason why, like, they make, like, Focal or even Arc. There's a reason why they make entry level speakers and high end speakers, because everyone kind of falls somewhere different on there. Like, it's not always about how much money you can spend. It's about what the customer is expecting. So, like, I would love to put K2s and RS and Lates and Milli Legends or Pros in everybody's car, just so they can experience how high-end audio is supposed to sound. But the reality is a lot of people, it's overkill. It's going to get lost on them. They're not going to be like, yeah, this is cool. They couldn't tell the difference between a $300 speaker and a $600 speaker. They wouldn't know what they were listening to. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't come down to that so much as expectation. So when talking, this is where a good salesman comes in, is trying to get out of you. And this is why a lot of people screw their stuff up, because a good salesman doesn't exist anymore. They're not around. Like, and we buy stuff off Amazon and we buy stuff off of the internet, and we just end up with a bunch of crap that people that don't know any. That's the other thing when you look at a review. A review is somebody who says, "Oh, this speaker sounds amazing." Well, what do you know? Like, tell me why you think it sounds amazing. What are you comparing it to? Like, if I have a Yugo and that's the only thing I've ever driven, and for those of you guys who don't know what a Yugo is, look it up. And I'd say this is the fastest thing on the road. And you're like, okay, well, I've driven something with a V8 in it, not a 3-cylinder. So, you know, you have to like it's there is no good answer to that. You go. Why?
Why?
Yeah, you
You,
go.
then space?
No, one word. You don't know what a
Yugo.
Yugo is?
No. This?
Just type in Yugo car. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
It was a 3-cylinder little shit box. Came out in the late 80s. Um, two door sports coupe, man. Anyways, so
Mm-hmm.
really it just comes down to that. Now to put it in perspective, so how do we navigate through all of this nonsense, right? How do we figure out what speakers do we buy? Well, for one, you have to be realistic about your budget. Okay, so we talk about the Focal Flax all the time. Focal Flax are, depending on which ones you're looking at, they're about $750. Okay, roughly. You know, so that's a good that's a point. That's like, okay, I don't want to spend $750. Where do I go from there? Okay, so when you say that, you're also telling yourself that you're not looking for high end audio. You're looking for something else because I feel in that price range is right around where high end audio starts. That's a lot of times where high end audio ends for a lot of people. But some people will go to Scar and they'll look at the Scars and they'll say, "Oh, I can get like a 6, a 3, and a tweet for $250," and it ticks all the boxes for them, and they're like, "This is going to be great." And they also have some Skull Candy headphones, so they're like, "This is awesome." Speakers are the voice of the system. Each one has its own unique sound. Listen to as many of them as you can. Spoken like a true nerd. But there's a lot more important stuff than speakers.
Yeah.
Speakers are the end result. So what I like to tell people is that it's the stereo is a combination of all the parts. All the parts have to be equal. So if you bought a set of, let's say, Arc Audio RS or Focal K2s, and you buy some entry level amplifier, you haven't done yourself a service. Everything has to balance itself out. So you don't want to have something that's super expensive over here and then generic over here. So you want everything to kind of play in the same, stay on the same page, play in the same field. That's the more important thing, is buying components that all kind of match with one another. Because like I'm not going to sell you like a Key 200.4 and a set of Focal Flax. That would be dumb. Like that would be so not appropriate for me to do that because that's wrong. However, if I was going to sell you some Focal integration and a Key 200.4, that's more in line. Like those two are designed for one another. They'll play nice. Or some RS, Kicker RS with a 200.4 because they don't make anything high end. So more in line is the better move. Chris is just having fun in the comments. I'm a big Infinity Kappa Perfect fan, but notice I can only listen to them for about 10 minutes at a time on loud. I was told to get a DSP to clean up the highs. If my speaker budget for just the front three-way components is $1,500 to $2K, what do you recommend? I stick it out with the Infinities, or is there a better speaker out there at the price point? I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone to not buy something they don't love. If you love the Infinity Kappa Perfects, by all means, get a set of Infinity Kappa Perfects. It's a great sounding speaker. However, it's not a great sounding speaker in every environment. You have to put a DSP in there so that you can correct for problems that are going to happen when you put them in a car. That's just the reality of it. You have to have some form of a DSP. So how that translates out, okay, cool. I wouldn't buy the little crappy Infinity DSP thing. That like amp thing, that's trash. Don't buy that. I mean, it's a great my first DSP, but not for some really expensive speakers. I would think of a multi-channel DSP amplifier would be fantastic. So I would go that way. Now, if you already have your amplifiers, then get a multi-channel DSP, PS6 to 8. Arc Audio makes DSP, standalone DSPs. There's a bunch of them out there, but the DSP is what will allow your speakers to sound their best. Because keep in mind, you put a tweeter here and you put the other one 4 feet away from you. Do you think they sound the same when they get to your head? No, they don't. So, you want to fix that. What do we got? We got 10 minutes. All right, last 10 minutes of the show. How exciting is that? This last segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Moscone-America.com. If you're looking for an AB class DSP amplifier, Moscone. That's it. Done. That's all you got. Make 2. Pro and the 1. Awesome. Okay. I really enjoy the Dean and Brian podcast. Keep them coming. I listen to them while I mow the yard. Bill, you're in luck. Brian is a slave driver when it comes to that, and there's no chance he's going to let up. So, and he's fortunate because in his time zone, he's not even tired. However, he gets me right before. But yeah, it's dark when I do them. But no, we're having a great time. If you guys haven't checked out the podcast, definitely want to check it out. A lot of the Infinity stuff uses plastic baskets. They don't always play well with mounting holes alignment on some of the speaker adapters. So it's not really plastic per se. It's a composite. Most of that stuff is a composite. Which is just a really cool way of saying plastic. I know, but it could be what it's made out of. And when you're looking at a bracket is made out of plastic. Straight plastic. It is made to be drilled, tapped, and put the holes in the right spot. So I don't understand. Like, I get it. Like, when you're putting a radio in a dash, the dash gets made out of plastic. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people like drill different like into the metal instead of filing away the plastic so that the screws go in properly. They'll totally screw up the cage for the radio instead of just manipulating the plastic brackets. They're plastic. Drill the hell out of them. Who cares? Coaxials versus components, which sound better to your ears? The component is going to give you a bigger sound presence because it's small. So when you think of a speaker radiating sound, you have to think of like a funnel or a cone coming off of the speaker. So if you take a speaker and you put it into an area and you have a tweeter mounted in the center, you have a small cone coming out and you have a bigger cone coming off of that. And if you're far away, that doesn't really matter because it's going to get nice and wide. However, we're not far away from our speakers. Our speakers are right there. Now, if you have a speaker in the bottom of the door, which is typically where the mid bass goes, and a speaker up higher on the dash, either the A-pillar, corner of the dash, or the sail panel, well, now you have 2 cones of sound radiating in a bigger sound stage as opposed to a smaller sound stage. So the idea of a component is to move the sound stage up more easily. There's more to it than that, but that's one of the features of a component is being able to make it the sound stage bigger. So it's not a matter of which one is better. It's which one is what their function is and how they make the sound in your car better. So like in the rear deck, coaxial is fantastic, or the rear doors, coaxial is fantastic. It's just ambient noise. Whereas in the front, a component is going to work much better. Yes, you can find it on Apple Podcasts. When is the Dean and Brian podcast and where? So it goes out every Sunday night. You can find it, a link to it in Facebook on my personal Facebook page, Brian's personal Facebook page, as well as Apple Music. There is a link to it there, and then Podbeam is where it's hosted from. I haven't gone to Spotify yet. It's on my list of things to do. One guy. So it's not on Spotify yet.
Come on.
I know, I suck.
Jesus Christ.
And there is a playlist that Chris Vera curates for us on Spotify, which is amusing. Yeah. I said that. Yeah. I gotta remember to put a link in the show notes every time. I feel like most people are just looking for loud and clear. See, I feel like most people have no idea what they want. I know they know what they don't want. I think that's a better place to look at it. Like, most people know what they don't want. And that's good because they'll sit in their car and they'll go, I don't want this. So then it's talking with them and finding out what this actually is. So that's where the conversation gets fun because it's like, okay, so you don't like this. What about this do you not like? And that's what helps us sell the appropriate stuff for them. Yes, you're amazing. Thank you, Chris. So some people say, I want more bass and I want crisper highs. It's like, okay, well, let's build a system around that. Some people just go, this just sounds terrible. There's no life to it. And that's a different customer. You immediately know that, oh, okay, we're actually going to have an intelligent conversation about like what this isn't doing properly, and then we're going to build a system from there. So there are different criteria depending on who you talk to. And then you just have people that show up and go, hey, man, I watched your show. I want some morels and a blackbird. And you go, okay. And then you talk to them and really find out if that's what they need. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So it just depends. But yeah, it is a chasm. So yeah, my wife doesn't mind her stock Toyota sound, not even JBL stock. And there again, it all depends on what she's listening to and how she cares. Keep in mind, like Apple gave away thousands and thousands of those crappy white little earbuds, and people were happy with those. Like they were upset when Apple stopped doing that, but Apple's like, we can make a better one. They're like, I don't want a better one. I just want my free pair. Okay, well, we can make a better pair. I mean, they're not that expensive. Well, they were free before, and they sounded like crap, but they fit your ear really nice. So some people are just happy. Now, usually those are the same people that when they hear something amazing, you can click on it. Then they're like, oh, this is awesome. I want this. Ram 1500 bass system. I have 4 ohm, 3.5 in the dash, 6x9, 3 ohm in the front doors. I know they're connected using factory wiring. What's the ohm value? Also, no factory amp. Thanks for y'all's doing it. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you have the capacitor on the 3.5 in the dash? Because if you do, I can't give you an ohm load because that's going to change the ohm load. That's why the capacitor is there, is to fool the amplifier. Other than doing its crossover duty, the capacitor on the 3.5 is going to change the ohm load, so the amplifier won't actually see that. And the other thing too is speakers move, the ohm load changes. That's how that works. And so it's never seeing a static like 2 ohm load all the time. It's never seen that. The speakers are moving, and when they move, the ohm load is in constant fluctuation. A good example of that is hook up your ohm meter and push the speaker down, and you'll see that the ohm load changes. So that is going to happen. So you don't really have to worry about it. Like, it's fine. It'll play all day.
That's it.
You good? Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah, we hit the time. Turn that off. Hey, it's that time again. We get to end the show. It's Monday night. We got a whole week in front of us of fun and excitement to do. I'd like to thank all you guys for playing along with us tonight. We hope you had a good time. We hope you learned something. We hope you were entertained. Were you not entertained? We hope you had a good time. We did talk a lot about going over to Dean and Fernando's car stereo clips, where we had the whole little class section we used to do. Maybe head over there and check that out. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of information there that, just keep in place, just so you know. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'd like to thank the supporters of the show, the guys that pay the bills. We'd like to thank Arc Audio Control. We'd like to thank Focal, Moscone, Gladen. Without them, it would be a lot harder. I'm not going to lie, it'd be a lot harder. But thank you guys so much. We hope you enjoyed it. And that's it. We're going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.